The unofficial official start to the college football season. The Winfrey Hotel in Hoover, Alabama, as always, playing host to the annual SEC Media Days, which get underway today. Coverage all over the SEC network. And their stars are rising this week, partly because Tim Tebow isn't at SEC Media Days, but we have Booger McFarland and Marcus Spears with us live from Hoover, Alabama. And each of you, we're going to start with writing a headline going into this week for the SEC. And Booger, I'll start with you.
For me, I think it's who's going to be number 2 in the SEC. Think about this, Matt. When the college football playoff first started in 2014, the SEC had 3 teams in the top 4 in the initial rankings. Last season in the SEC, you had 11 out of the 14 teams finish with 4 losses or more in the conference, let alone the playoff rankings. So we all know what Alabama is going to be. They bring back a plethora of talent, and they're going to be good. But who's going to be the number 2 team in the SEC this year? I think that race is fascinating.
Matt, you see what Boog just did? That's called homework. That's what that's called. For me, the headline is Malik Zaire. I think you look at the past 4 college football playoffs, it's been dual threat quarterbacks to get it done. Yeah. And I think that's a huge get for Jim McElwain. He's been able to make a lot out of guys that had a lot of questions coming into the season. We've seen quarterbacks transfer into the SEC and make a difference on these teams. And I know Georgia is the sexy pick right now in the SEC East, but Florida has been in there twice, back-to-back, and now they get a guy that can change the game and extend plays, and McElwain has proven that he can work with guys at that position at a high level.
Yeah, Naylor, we've seen Florida have the defense the first 2 years under McElwain. Now he finally gets a quarterback to toy with his offense. That's going to be a lethal combination. We're going to play a game called Truth or Lies. I'm going to make a statement. Each of you is going to weigh in whether that's a truth or just lies. All right, so the first one.
Not like college truth or dare, right? Because I can't play that game.
No.
Okay, all right.
That was spring break. All right. Every head coach, the first one is every head coach that's attending SEC Media Days this year will be at SEC Media Days next year. Marcus, we'll start with you.
I think that's the truth. Look, we know what's going on in College Station. We know Scott Woodward came out and said Kevin Sumlin has the win. And I think at this point, you look at the roster. That's the problem that I'm having, Boog, the roster. And, Matt, when this is young talent. They haven't been able to win with a lot of experienced guys. One guy who was the first pick in the NFL draft. So that's a bit troubling. But there's a big but there because it's a lot of investment in this program right now. And I think Kevin Sumlin, if he can get to 10 wins, I don't see how he's going to do it. But if he can get to 10 wins, his job will be secure. That's the tough part for me right now. But I think it's the truth. I think Kevin Sumlin's seat is burning.
Well, I think that's a lie. And I think if maybe 1, maybe 2. I think we could go to Butch Jones if we wanted to expand this conversation and say number 2. But I think Kevin Sumlin is clearly on the hot seat right now. 21-19. That's the record for Kevin Sumlin in the SEC since he's been at Texas A&M. They're paying him a lot of money. They got a swag copter out there. They put $400 million in the stadium. They're not doing all that for an average SEC record. And also think about the turmoil. He's recruited 5-star quarterbacks. Hill, Allen, those guys have transferred out of there. So there's some turmoil on the team also. Kevin Sumlin has to win. And oh, by the way, if my boss tells me that I got to do something and I don't do it, you know where you're going to be. So Kevin Sumlin has to win. I'm going to say that's a lie, man.
Yeah, the athletic director came out and said he knows he's got to win now. Let's stick in that division of the SEC. The best quarterback in the conference plays football at Mississippi State. Booger?
Ooh, I think that's going to be a lie. And I'm going to clarify it like this. I'm going to do what ESPN.com does. They break it down. We talk dual threat and we talk pocket passer. If you're talking dual threat quarterback, that guy is Jalen Hurts at Alabama. He won Offensive Player of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. He can beat you with his legs. You know he's dynamic. He's got to improve as a passer. If he does that, he's the best dual threat quarterback in the conference. If we're talking about a guy that can drop back, cool, calm, collected in the pocket, nobody spins it like Drew Lock. Almost 3,500 yards passing, 23 touchdowns last year. He's a guy that can stand in the pocket and spin it. So if we're going to talk best quarterback, I think we have to break it down, Spears, dual threat and pocket passer.
Well, when he said Mississippi State, I almost thought about Last Chance U. I said, do they have another one over there that's going to come and break records in the SEC? That's a lie. It's Jalen Hurts, Offensive Player of the Year last year. We saw what he was able to do in Alabama, and actually in the national championship made a play to possibly give them the victory. So I think, look, Alabama has the best quarterback in the SEC because it's proven. The numbers are there. Now, until somebody tops it or until somebody can carry their team the distance, then I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. But I like what the freshman did. I like his poise. We talked about it all last year. And when you think about Nick Fitzgerald and Mississippi State and the things that he did was special, I think could be a dark horse Heisman guy, but the wins won't be there for him in order to be in that conversation. So it's Jalen Hurts.
I think the reason we have this conversation about Jalen Hurts, he struggled at the end of the year throwing the football. And Nick Saban made a great comment in the offseason. He said, I didn't think the former offensive staff, meaning Lane Kiffin, develop the quarterback.
And I assume we all believe it's a truth that Feinbaum's going to pick a fight with some coach this week, and you guys will get a front row seat to it. We appreciate your time. Enjoy the SEC Media Days.
I'm saying it's going to be Hugh Freeze, Matt.